everyone! Welcome back to my channel, and this is Set Goals with Nyla. This is a very special edition because we are doing our very first online video conference with our very special guest. Tonight's topic is about child abuse. Nang magsimula pang ating pandemic, tumaas ang kaso ng child abuse sa ating bansa. So I invited one of my good friends who will talk about child abuse. And without further ado, I would like to introduce him. He holds a degree of Master's in Public Affairs, major in Education Management, and Bachelor of Science in Human Ecology, major in Human and Family Development Studies, both at the University of the Philippines. Right now, he was designated by STO Laguna as Child Protection Specialist and was an active member of Calauan's Child Abuse Prevention and Intervention Network. As of now, he is connected with Dayap National High School as teacher, guidance coordinator, grade 7 coordinator, and edukasyon sa pagpapakatao coordinator. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome our speaker of tonight, Mr. Christopher Aaron De Leon. Hello, Aaron.
Hi, Nyla. Good evening.
Wow, thank you so much for the time and thank you so much for
Of course, para sa'yo.
for this opportunity. Alam mo, I'm really excited for this about child abuse. So, let's start. Can you tell us and define us, ano ba itong child abuse? Kasi baka minsan, we are not aware, nagagawa na pala namin ito.
Normally kasi, pag sinabi natin child abuse. However, I think we should start defining what is a child. Kasi diba, sometimes kasi we tend to be confused of what's the definition of a child. For us, we define child as any person below 18 years of age. However, above 18 years of age, but incapable of taking care of him or herself because of a certain circumstances, he or she can be considered as a child. Kagaya ng example natin, normally kasi pag sinabi natin child, diba, it's about 18, any person below 18 years old. What if, for example, ang isang tao ay 27 years old, but he or she has a condition, like for example, she has an autism. Therefore, we can consider it as a child pa rin. Legally, pag define kasi natin siya, yun nga, yung age, yung pagbabasihan natin.
Oo.
But then, if may certain condition ng isang bata, like for example, if he or she is physically disabled, mentally challenged, has autism, still, we can still consider them as a child.
Okay, so parang meron sila mga childlike behavior pa rin, no? Yung parang hindi
Yes.
natin sila pwedeng makonsider na adult talaga. Regardless kung anong age nila. Okay.
Yes. Basta hindi sila capable of protecting themselves, yon, mako-consider natin sila as a child.
Okay. Okay, so let's move next to our next agenda dito na paano ba ito nangyayari?
When we define child abuse, it's an act of deliberating, inflicting physical injuries upon a child. Another definition, pwede rin yung unreasonable deprivation of child basic needs. Like for example, di ba? Si bata, wala siyang food. Pero si nanay niya or si tatay niya, meron siyang money to buy a new cellphone. Di ba? So instead of yung parent ibigay yung mismong money for pambili ng food ng isang bata, pero binila sa cellphone, that's deprivation. Another thing, pag si parent, yun nga, si bata hindi siya makapag-aral, pero si parent naka-braces, may pambili ng gadgets, yun, we can also then consider that as a deprivation for the child. Then another thing, It's an any act which debases or demeans the intrinsic worth of dignity of a child as a human being. For example, pag sinasabi natin yung bata, wala siyang kwenta, di ba? Wala siyang contribution. Yan, that's also considered as a child abuse.
Yung child abuse, hindi lang din siya talaga physical abuse or yung
Yes.
verbal abuse, hindi rin siya lang din yung talagang merong mga pasa-pasa ka dyan. Pero ang natutunan ko ngayon, yun din palang deprivation na kunyari hindi mo nabigay yung kanyang mga needs,
Exactly.
the basic needs, it's also considered siya na child abuse.
Child abuse.
So, ano ba yung mga needs ng bata? Like shelter,
Yes.
food, clothing, love.
Rights ng children, nakategorize siya into 4. The first one is the survival. Second thing is the development. And the third thing is participation. And the last is protection. Okay?
Oh.
Protection or security. Pag sinabi nating survival, dito papasok yung food. Diba? So, pasok pa rin yung sinasabi nating food, protective environment. Kailangan ng isang bata yan para makasurvive. Second thing is the development. Diba? As we know, child's basic right is education. Diba? Any form of training, going to school, enrolling to other basic courses, that's considered development. The third thing is participation. Somehow, kasi sa Philippines, ang thinking kasi natin, kapag ang bata, wala yang say or opinion. Diba? Gano'n naman tayo.
Oo,
sa magkakapatid,
bawal sumagot.
yes. Pag sa magkakapatid, si Bunso, siya yung parang less opinion. Hindi siya pinakikinggan. But then, sabi nga nila, ang bata daw, dapat laging pinapakinggan ng opinion. And lastly, is yung protection. Or, let's say, protection or security. Kailangan ang bata, masiguro natin, dapat yung community niya, protective. Merong nagtatanggol sa kanya, meron siyang sariling community na talagang nakabantay sa kanya. So, yun yung 4 basic categories of child's right. Kinategorize na natin kasi before ang dami, karapatan niyang mag-aral, karapatan niyang makakaroon ng pagkain, kain. Yun.
Yeah, I love participation kasi ngayon we are promoting yung magkaroon sila ng sarili nilang communication, yung kanilang sarili nilang expression of themselves. Kasi minsan, as parents, we can be super protective kung ano yung gusto natin para sa kanila. Napapangunahan sila. So, let them grow pala in that area of their lives.
Yes. Okay. Yung participation naman kasi it's a matter of yung self-discovery. Sometimes kasi diba, doon naman nakikita ng bata ano yung kanyang forte. Kaya let them participate.
Alam mo naalala ko lang yung sinasabi sa akin na instead of focusing sa weaknesses ng ating anak, yung parang, di ba, pag mababa ang grade sa math, o mag-aral ka ng math, but yes. I think yung mas maganda daw ngayon is talagang to promote yung strength ng bata. Kung yung strength ng bata, supportahan mo siya doon para doon talaga siya mag-thrive at mag-flourish. Kasi doon talaga siya mas mag-excel sa buhay niya.
Yes.
Okay. So ngayon naman, ano itong ating parang mga offenders? Sino ba itong mga pwedeng harm sa ating mga kabataan or sa mga children?
Normally, yung offenders kasi, lahat tayo. Pwedeng ikaw, any individual outside the community can be considered as offender. The parent, the lolo, the lola, the relatives. It can be male or female, bata, matanda, Filipino or foreigner, and sometimes a stranger, but usually someone that are close sa atin. So, pag sinabi nating sex offender or yung child abuse offender, lahat pwedeng maging offender. Kahit ako bilang kahit ako ay isang bilang child protection specialist, pwede akong ma-considered as offender. Lalong-lalo na kung meron tayong very unprotective environment or community.
Okay. Actually, pag kasi child abuse, minsan laging tumatatak sa isip ko kaagad, mga bata lang no? Pero involved pala dito talaga yung mga youth, yung mga 12, 13, 14 hanggang 18 na talagang they are also experiencing these different kinds of abuses sa buhay
So
nila.
what, Naila, especially, di ba, I'm teaching junior high school student, and
Mm-mm.
DepEd is promoting child protection policy. The child protection policy, iba yung impact sa mga teachers. Negative yung acceptance nila dito. Why? It's because the child protection policy, sinasabi nila, is suitable only, yun nga, for child. Sobrang pinapamper daw, sobrang bias daw, kumbaga. Kasi kapag si bata na sinigawan ni teacher, automatics the child abuse. But the very question here is, Naila, is that, di ba, you are a teacher, di ba? You should know what you should do inside the classroom. Kailangan bang sigawan ng isang bata? Di ba, hindi naman.
We are evolving ang ating generation ngayon. There are other ways to talagang to discipline children and youth na hindi mo kailangan daanin sa dahas.
Exactly.
Or yung,
Pag sinabi kasi natin, iba yung generation nila ngayon eh. Kapag i-compare kasi natin yung generations before up to present, ibang-iba talaga. Pero, kung magsistick kasi tayo sa generation na yun at yun yung paniniwalaan natin, hindi tayo magkakaintindihan. Tapos na yung generation natin. So that's why you have to understand yung generation ngayon. Diba? Kumbaga, kailangan mong sakyan yung generation para at least maintindihan ng mga bata.
so I love that. Alam mo, I love that. Kasi parang minsan lagi ko naririnig na, nung panahon namin, ganto-ganto kami,
Oh,
isang
very
tingin
good.
lang sa amin, kukurti na kita. Meron lang akong hinawakan ko lang yung hanger or tinabod yung mga naka-experience ng hanger or tambo. Takot na agad kami. Ngayon, parang kahit daw sumigaw ka na, hindi mo na talaga mapapasunod yung mga bata ngayon.
Mm-mm.
Which only like, it's an evidence na talagang hindi talaga effective itong mga old ways natin. But we need to understand ano ba talaga ang kanilang mga pinaghuhugutan ngayon.
Yes.
Especially when it comes to dealing with abuse. Siguro noon, yung abuse, hindi pa siya ganun ka-open topic na parang anybody can talk about abuse na hindi sila na-awkward. But nowadays, marami talaga ngayong form of abuses that we need to be aware of and we also need to know how to deal with these abuses. Example of this, can you specifically give like touching or ano ba itong mga pwede mong i-share na practices of abuse na nangyayari currently sa ating generation?
Normally, for child sexual abuse kasi, the offender has a strategy. We, as a child protection specialist, we call them the grooming process. The grooming process, nga, since it's a certain process na kung saan the offender has a target. The target can be situational. It can also be preferential. Pag sinabi natin preferential kasi, the offender has preference. Gusto ko maganda. Gusto ko pogi. But then, there is also situational. Situational to the sense of, si bata, mag-isa lang siya sa bahay. Wala yung parents niya. So, igagrab ko yung situation na yun. But then, the grooming process would start like, for example, di ba? We have a target. I am the offender. I have a target. For example, yung batang 4 years old yung target ko. Okay? To get his or her attention, I have to give him or her a gift. Diba, pag binigyan ko siya ng gift, automatic, medyo magkakaroon na yung trust niya sa akin, maniniwala na siya sa akin. Then right after that, i-increase ko yung pagbibigay ng gift sa kanya. So, nabigyan ko na ulit siya ng gift. So, ganun. So, nag-i-establish ako ng rapport or good relationship sa isang bata. So, si bata, kapag na siya, kampante na siya sa akin, di ba, at least na siya sa akin, dun magsa-start yung mismong touching. Okay? Kaya later, sasabihin ko sa inyo, ano yung types of touches. But then, the grooming process, ito yung normal na ginagawa ng offender. Kailangan, di ba, paplanuhin ko muna paano ko makatch yung aking victim, kumbaga.
Talagang nakaka-alarming. Ano ba itong mga touches na ito? Parang na-curious naman ako. Meron pa palang different touches?
Of course, meron tayong different touches. Okay, the first one is yung safe touch. Di ba? Maganda to ituro, lalo na sa anak mo. Yung anak mo, si Zephyrin ay 4 years old, tama?
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
Mm.
When we say safe touch, ito yung like for example, handshaking, appear, tapping. That is a safe touch.
Oh.
Okay? Next, the second one is the confusing touch. When we say confusing touch, ito yung parang for example, di ba, hinawakan kita dito sa may shoulder mo. Tapos yung paghawak ko sa shoulder mo, medyo mabagal yung paghawak ko sa'yo. Then right after that, you you feel uncomfortable. So that
Okay.
is confusing touch. The third thing is the unsafe touch. When we say unsafe touch, anything sa body parts ng isang tao covered with our clothes, that's considered as private body parts. When the offender touches the private parts of an individual, that's considered as unsafe touch. So, yun yung inaaral namin. Sometimes kasi, di ba, yung touch kasi, hindi natin alam depende kasi sa pag-accept ng isang tao. Di ba, we have these friends na very clingy, na hindi natin alam na iba na pala yon. Pero yun nga, medyo mahirap yung confusing touch, especially sa mga bata. Kasi clingy ang bata
So, safe touch, dapat yun lang talaga yung i-allow ng isang magulang na gawin ng anak niya with anyone. Tama ba yung pag-understand ko?
Actually kasi dapat kasi si parent from the start, kasama yan sa personal safety lesson namin We're teaching personal safety lesson. From the very beginning, kailangan sabihin mo kay bata or dun sa anak mo na no one can touch your private parts. For medical reason, papaliguan, that's okay. However, kapag hahawakan talaga yung body parts ng isang bata, hindi siya inaalaw. Ituturo dapat yun sa bata. Pero pag confusing touch, ang strategy lang dito is yung you feel uncomfortable. Para nakaramdam ka ng,
Okay.
ay parang iba yung tawak niya. Yun.
Parang meron ng ibang na-arouse na emotions na hindi
Yes.
mo alam kung ano ba ito. Wow. So talagang kailangan pala as parents, we will educate our children na talagang nobody can touch their private
Yes.
parts. And that ito lang talaga yung limit ng touching na they can allow sa kanila.
Nice to teach, especially sa 4-year-old na bata na pag maliligo, di ba, sanayin na siya na yung body parts niya, hindi dapat ini-expose, like that.
Okay.
Tapos ituro din sa kanya yung proper term. Sometimes kasi, di ba, pag sinasabi natin yung titi, sinasabi natin yung pikoy, yung putotoy, mga ganon. Dapat daw tinuturo natin yung proper terms. Like, for example, that's penis, that's vagina. Kasi kapag mayroon kasing cases, like for example, pagdating sa isang court, tinanong sa isang bata, oh, what happened? Hinawakan niya po yung flowers ko. Di ba? That's very confusing. What's flower? So, hindi siya tinatanggap legally.
As parents, we are really educated so we can educate our children. So, wala talagang mga code names pala. Naku, may code names pa ako, so I will eliminate the code names. Okay, so thank you so much for that. Pero ngayon, ano bang impact? So, we understand that on different kinds of abuses, no? In any different kinds of way. Ngayon naman, ano bang malaking impact ito sa kabataan? Once na na-abuse ka, ano yung sa tingin mo top 3 na nagiging impact?
Yung impact sa bata, especially tatlo yan. For the physical, syempre, di ba, merong iba na nagkakaroon ng STI or sexually transmitted infections, may mga gonorrhea, genital warts. That's for the physical impact. Then for the social or behavior impact, andyan yung nagiging rebellious ang isang bata. Tapos, wini-withdraw niya yung sarili niya sa isang group. Ayaw niya na makisama. Kasi, syempre, di ba, he or she is experiencing something. Then, the third thing is for the psychological. When you say psychological, dito papasok yung mga depression, anxiety, fear. When it comes to handling child abuse or child sexual abuse, kailangan kasi automatic, hindi mo na ini-interview si bata. Ang may karapatan
Ah,
lang mag-interview kay bata, si social worker. You being as individual, ang pinakamagandang option dito or gawin mo is to report sa DSWD. Sa school, like for example, although we don't have sexual abuse or although we have child abuse cases, the very common thing that we do is yung report kagad sa division office if that's child abuse. Then, kung nasa school yung perpetrator or yung offender, automatic, diretso, report kami kay division office. But then, kapag si offender ay within the community lang naman, automatic, diretso, report mo kay social worker or sa MSWD ng munisipyo. Kapag hindi mo siya ni-report, automatic, pwede kang kasuhan. Kasi,
wow.
dun kasi yung nangyayari na, di ba ang tendency kasi kaya nagre-reproduce or tumataas yung cases natin of child abuse, it's because no one is reporting. We are afraid to report. It's because, di ba, sometimes kasi we tend to have a death threats from other people, especially from the offenders.
Talagang the best way to protect our children, aside from educating them, is to
Yes.
really report and don't handle
Oo.
it sa sarili mo, no? Kasi baka minsan, nagmamarunong-marunong ka na i-interviewin mo, yung pala, you are causing more damage dun
No.
sa bata.
Yes.
Baka may mga questions ka na lalong masira yung kanyang moral.
Kasi
And,
kasi pag i-interview mo yung victim kasi, ang mangyayari kasi, i-interviewin siya ni social worker. So there are certain process the the social worker will interview the victim, the police will also interview the victim. So, ang tendency, si bata, napapagod na siya. So, lalo siyang natotrauma. So, dapat, if we have a child abuse victim, one interview only. The social worker, the police, magkakasama sila. And also the medical doctor.
oh, that's how it works pala, no? So, hindi mo na kailangan pang pahabain, no? Dapat talaga sama-sama na lang pala doon. Like, ang
Yes.
question ko is, paano kunyari may nag-open up sa'yo na teenager or kaibigan
Yes.
mo, no, na, you know, meron na, kasi parang, minsan nagbago na nga itong kaibigan mo, naging tahimik bigla, nagkaroon
Yan,
siya ng
oo.
maraming insecurity sa sarili niya. Paano yun?
Kasi, that's very good, Naila. Sometimes kasi we know this we know this one student. Like for example, if there are certain changes sa behavior niya, 'di ba? Nakakapagtaka. Like for example, yung bata wala siyang baon. Meron na siyang kaya niya nang bumili ng mismong food. Questionable na 'yon. So pag if
Yeah.
nagbago yung behavior ng isang bata, magandang ano na 'yon, magandang observation na 'yan that you can ask him or her that if you want to tell something with me, I'm willing to listen, like that. But then let's be not judgmental kasi sometimes kasi ang isang bata kasi they are not yet willing to open up, especially yung case nila. But for me kasi since I'm handling junior high school student, it's very easy for me to distinguish or determine something changes sa isang behavior ng isang bata. Kasi very expressive kasi ang teenager. 'Di ba? Yung behavior nila. So pag meron ng ganong cases at alam mo na, but the very important thing here is, Naila, you have to report it. Okay? If it's confirmed, that's child abuse. But if it's not, you can ask for some help sa social worker.
How to handle it. No? So, I can just go to the social worker and explain sa kanya. Yung sinabi mo na,
Yes.
kunyari, may bago siyang gadget, no? Kunyari, paano ba yung mga cases na, kunyari, merong, lalo na sa teenager, no? Yung, nabola-bola siya nung offender. Example, di ba, 13 pa lang siya or 14 pa lang
Yes.
siya. Nakipagrelasyon siya dito sa offender na nagbibigay sa
Mm-mm.
kanya ng mga, yan nga, mga luho ng mga pangarap niya dahil nga,
Mm-mm.
paano yun? Consider ba siyang abuse kung yung bata parang in love daw siya dun sa offender?
Love siya sa offender and
Matanda na yung offender.
kung merong child abuse na nangyari, like for example, yun nga, ginahasa or ni-rape yung isang bata at sasabihin ng offender, Kasi ginusto naman ng bata, boyfriend ko siya. 'Di ba may mga ganong cases?
Oo, may ganun eh.
Still, we still consider that as a child sexual abuse. Regardless kung pumayag si bata. Basta any individual below 18 years of age, legally
Oo.
okay, that's still considered as child sexual abuse. For example, yung penis ng offender tapos yung vagina ng victim, mag-touch lang yon skin to skin. That's considered as child sexual abuse.
Oh, so, wait lang. So,
Mm.
17 below yan, no? Not 18 years
Yes.
old. 18, you are
Yes.
not considered na bata.
Kasi legally kasi pag 18 years old, 'di ba? Yun nasa ano natin eh. Na pag 18 pwede na, legal age na. But still we have to consider, 'di ba? Merong mga batang may certain circumstances. For example, yun nga, may autism, may Down syndrome. They
Okay.
can still be considered as child.
Wow! Thank you so much, Mr. Aaron De Leon, for this amazing information. So ngayon, ito na yung aking ultimate question for you. So can you give us at least 3 tips? How can we empower the children today?
Okay. The first thing, of course, we have to educate them. Why? Because educating them or giving them information, they already know, they can be aware enough what are their rights and how they can protect themselves. Second thing for me, I think the community. We should have a protective community. LGUs should provide training, especially in handling cases like this. Okay. And lastly, of course, the parents itself. The parents should be aware what are those strategies, especially to eradicate or to prevent child abuse or child sexual abuse. Hey, if the parent is capable enough or educated enough, what are the symptoms or signs of a child abuse? What is the definition of child abuse? How can they report child abuse? Okay, therefore they can protect their children.
Thank you so much, Mr. De Leon. So, yun
Thank
po,
you,
no?
Naila.
Always remember ating 3 tips how to empower the children and the youth. Number 1, to educate them. Number 2, to provide a safe environment to them. And lastly, we parents, we're calling all the parents to love your children by giving them their rights and providing the right love for them. So thank you,
Yes.
and we'll see you again in our next episode. Bye-bye!
Thank you, Naila.